I always start with the simplest approach, and the simplest way to start getting your horse happy having their legs touched is to begin where they are already happy being touched and gradually work down their legs. So they're often more relaxed, like on the neck and the shoulder, along the top of the back, and more reactive around the legs and tummy. So you can see CT coach Aria here working with a youngster named Toucanon, and you can see that she's got him standing on a mat and ground tying, and this is her setup for working on husbandry behaviours like grooming and feet and things like that. So it's nice to have a place that you can put your horse to say this is what we're working on. Then you can start where they're comfortable, so that might be running your hand along their back, and if they stand nice and quietly, you can mark and reward. You can gradually then start to run your hands further and further down their legs. Now, if they are more anxious about having like their tummy or their legs touched, maybe you just, you take your time to go down to the shoulder or a little bit further down past the elbow. And then the next time, just stay up at the withers and reward and then go a bit further down again. You want to build it up slowly so that your horse is able to stay calm and relaxed. And if they stand still like this, you can mark and reward and gradually just build up where you can touch them. Okay, option number 2 is using a bit of a start button. So here Sophie's working with her very young foal Pie, and you can see that when he touches her hand, she marks and rewards him with a scratch. Now, scratches are great for horses that enjoy them and often for foals because they really like the touch, but she's starting to teach him that if he touches the target, that means she's going to touch him. So he already knew the hand target, and here she's transferring it to the stationary target. So you can see when he touches the stationary target, she then goes and touches him. He can say when he's ready, and they can build up from there. So here she's working on touching him with a cloth, and you can see that she's added food in a little bit here. So this is a little bit further on in his training. And again, the setup, he's got a training setup which is standing at a stationary target. Now, because of the work she's done, he's already really enjoying touch, which is great, but he's a little bit more fidgety and reactive when she goes further down his legs. So she's just bringing the target out here. It's a kind of a cue for him to stand, and then once he touches it, obviously at this stage he gets a reward, and then she can start to go further down his legs again. And again, if he stands nice and quietly, then she can reward him. And here's the behavior a little bit later, and you can see that it's created a really, really calm, confident, solid behavior of being of standing still and being touched. So you can see again that when he touches the target, he's getting rewarded for it. And if you saw at the beginning, when he touched it, that's when she started grooming him. Okay, this one is CT coach Sharon working with Suki, who is a Mustang who'd only been rounded up a few weeks before this, so completely wild. Sharon's done an amazing job already working on positively building up Suki's associations with humans. Now, obviously she can't touch Suki, so she's working with a stick. So you can see here, again, we've got a setup, which is the handheld target. It's also a bit of a start button. When Suki touches the red target, that's when Sharon lifts the other stick. And at the beginning, just lifting the stick beside her until she's calm with that, and then starting to move on to just being able to slowly touch the shoulders with it. This is a great way to start introducing touch to horses who are really anxious, very reactive, because of course you can stay at a bit of a distance, and it's not your hand. Suki finds hands scarier than sticks. Some horses might be the other way around, depending on their history, but it's a really super way for Sharon to be able to introduce the feeling of touch from a human to Suki. Once she's got the idea, you can see she's now transferred it to a stationary target, and Suki's much, much calmer at the feeling of the stick on her shoulder and legs. From here, Sharon was able to then transfer that directly to her hand, and you can see how calm and relaxed Suki is about being touched because she knows the process and it's been built up so gradually. What a fantastic introduction to human touch for a wild horse like this. Okay, and this one's my own little donkey Coco, who came with my house that I bought in France. And so as you can see, his feet were in pretty bad condition. And I was told that they hadn't trimmed his feet because he kicked so badly. He actually wasn't happy about being touched at all. He was very well loved and generally well cared for. They just didn't really realize that he really needed his hooves trimming. So I started off as I always do, just standing next to him, not touching him, just getting him used to me being next to him, rewarding him for that. And then I started to work on touching his legs. Now, with all the other horses, you've seen that I went from the top down. So we started working on shoulder touch and then down the legs, which is generally the easiest way to go. But there are always many different ways to train every behavior. So what I started with Coco was just asking him to come towards me while I was crouching down. Now you can see his suspicion about this new setup already. What's the board doing? What's she crouching down? And once he was there, I just started to use a lot of classical conditioning at the beginning. So that meant I was just feeding him on the board or in a bucket and starting to just move my hands around, particularly towards his legs and feet where he was very reactive. I also worked a little bit on, can he come a little bit closer, like you just saw there? And then, okay, back to just eating on the board, nice and calm, really slow sessions. We just did really gentle, calm, small little steps of progress each day. So this was a bit later. You can see there as I reached towards his leg, he was still stepping away sometimes. So just playing on that kind of boundary of where he was comfortable and confident. Again, still using a classical conditioning approach, feeding him on the board and then reaching forward to touch his feet. And when he stood nice and calmly, rewarding him. And of course, it's always a balance, especially if you've got a health issue like this that needs addressing as soon as possible, of how fast to go. But you can see in a short time, I'd introduced the nippers. You can see how he's really interacting with me and the nippers this time. He's so confident and relaxed. And I was able to begin starting to take that toe down. I was, of course, getting advice from my super trimmer, Leslie, and from my local vet, Elise, as well. But this was how I started to touch his feet, starting at the hooves, and then we worked up the legs. Okay, well, I hope that gave you lots of ideas for your horse. As always in the CT Club, there are more in-depth videos following the training of all these horses and many others as well, where you can see how their training develops. So all of this is in the CT Club, which is our online membership site where you get instant access to all of these home study courses and the hundreds of training videos in them. These ones, of course, are in the daily handling course, which covers a lot about catching, haltering, leading, grooming, hoof lifting, general handling, all in really in-depth videos showing real life people and horses. You get loads of support as well. So there's a forum and a Facebook group, which is supported by us. That's Rachel and I and our super certified coaches. And we do all sorts of events every month as well. We have study groups, Q&As, chats, live presentations where you can join us live, talk to us directly, ask your questions. And so there's always somewhere where you can get support from an actual real life human, which is always good. We have a great community as well. We have members from all over the world, hundreds of members, and it's a really open-minded, inclusive mindset of a community with people from all different walks of horsey life. So yeah, come and join us. It's really good fun. If you're interested, then just head over to connectiontraining.com. You'll find more information there. Click on Learn CT Online, the CT Club in the middle. You'll find the information and you can sign up. I hope to see you in there. All right, happy horse training.